Hey, welcome back to the Photics TV podcast. This is episode number 4, and the topic is Apple and the new iPhone. Is Apple being greedy with the new iPhone? In case you didn't know, there's the new iPhone 16e, and the tagline is, latest phone, greatest price. The greatest price for who? I don't think it's for me because I've been using an iPhone SE second generation, and it's from 2020. The starting price was $399. So that's a big jump to the iPhone 16e. My plan is to wait it out. Except there's a bit of a problem with that idea. The iPhone SE second generation is at the bottom of the iOS 18 compatibility list. And so I basically have a dying iPhone. First, it stops getting the latest iOS updates, then it stops getting security updates, and finally you can't play the latest version of Crossy Road. I'm somewhat kidding about that last one, but that's why I retired my old iPad. So Crossy Road is one thing, but my bigger concern is getting the latest security updates. I was using an iPhone SE first generation, and that was my favorite iPhone. I thought it was the perfect size. The features were pretty good overall too. Well, other than the camera. While it didn't record 4K video at 60 FPS, it was still useful. But that didn't matter to Apple, as it says here that the last security update was July 29th, 2024. My iPhone SE second generation supports 4K at 60 FPS, which you might have seen in some other Photics TV videos. The problem is that the iPhone is in this bluish discontinued area. Apple doesn't sell it anymore. It's still getting the latest iOS updates, but for how long? If you look at this column, the difference in years is dramatic. That's a big difference. And that makes it tough to decide which iPhone to get. Do I keep going with my little old iPhone, or do I get the iPhone 16e? We can compare the phones. Is the iPhone 16e really worth the upgrade? How different is the new iPhone? Well, it's bigger. I liked the iPhone SE. I thought that was the right size, but the trend has been that iPhones get bigger. The third generation iPhone SE has a 4.7-inch display, and the iPhone 16e has a 6.1-inch display. The new phone is much bigger. I suppose this is similar to buying a soft drink at a fast food place, where they have small, medium, and large. But the problem is that all of the iPhones are trending large. If you don't like it, then what? That's why I think the iPhones are too big. Why doesn't Apple make a simple pocket iPhone? And here's something funny. I searched for tiny phone on Amazon, and this thing popped up. It's adorable. I don't know how well it works because I'm not planning to switch phones. But clearly the specs aren't as powerful as the iPhone 16e. It's a fun comparison though, as this tiny phone is only $42.42. That's a big difference. As iPhones start getting too expensive, that creates opportunity for budget Android phones. So I don't like what I'm seeing with the latest iPhone. And just in general, what about the people that want less technology in their lives? I prefer a phone that I can just throw in my pocket. So if I'm outside and I need to talk to someone in an emergency, or to check a few messages here and there, maybe look up something if I'm in a store, I don't need a mini iPad in my pocket. It's just getting a little ridiculous. And as another fun comparison, this is currently my favorite controller, the 8BitDo Micro. I've been using this controller a lot, even though I have an 8BitDo Pro 2 controller. I used this little one mainly because it's just so convenient. It's kinda like James Bond. He didn't walk around with the manliest looking gun ever. No, he's a spy, where being stealthy and nimble is important. It's about the right tool for the job. I've been using the 8BitDo Micro as a replacement for the Apple TV remote, because the Apple TV remote is so expensive, and the controller is so comfortable. The buttons work well with Crossy Road. Anyway, the iPhone 16e does have bigger numbers than the previous SE iPhones. It's obvious. 48 is bigger than 12. If you haven't noticed, I've been using the iPhone SE second generation for lots of the videos on this channel. And so, maybe a nicer camera would be a good reason to upgrade. Yet, if my main reason for buying an iPhone is because I want a better camera, I might as well wait and see what's new with the iPhone 17. The iPhone 16e does have USB-C, so that is nice, but what I don't like is Face ID. I prefer Touch ID. I don't know what's the solution for that one. Maybe if the iPhone 16e was $400, I wouldn't care. I could just use a passcode. So, $599. That's the main problem. Just to remind myself of history, I used Google to search the differences in price. The original iPhone SE launched at $399, and the second generation was also $399. The third generation had a modest bump of $30. So is it a matter of inflation? Is Apple being greedy? Or are things just more expensive today? It's a 50% price increase between the launch price of the iPhone SE second generation and the launch price of the iPhone 16e. But are you making 50% more money? Managing expectations is part of the problem. In a previous Photics TV poll, the overwhelming majority of you think that the Nintendo Switch 2 will launch at around $400. So, if it launches at $500, how would you feel? Part of the problem was the expectation of a $500 phone. Is there a disconnect with the effect of inflation? Well, let's do the math. How bad has inflation been in the last 9 years? In April of 2016, $399 had the same buying power as $529.76 in January 2025. So I find the iPhone SE concerning. Instead of an affordable iPhone SE 4, which I might have bought, we got a more expensive iPhone, even inflation adjusted. If Apple prices out customers, that's a problem, because without the iPhone, the entire Apple ecosphere crumbled. Well, at the least, I probably wouldn't be using Apple devices if I wasn't using an iPhone. Even though the new M4 Mac Mini is really nice, I might not have bought it if I didn't have an iPhone. That's why I'm so confused about the iPhone 16e. Apple recently launched that awesome Mac Mini. I've been using it a few months now, and it's been outstanding. So fast, so quiet, so nice, and most importantly, so cheap. Let's look at the historical pricing of the Mac Mini. According to this data, when the Mac Mini launched in January of 2005, it was basically $500. That's what I paid for my new Mac Mini just months ago. There was a massive sale at Costco. So I suppose that is a bit of an unfair comparison. Let's look at the inflation-adjusted numbers. In January of 2005, $499 has the same buying power as $831.24 in January 2025. That's why the new iPhone 16e is so strange. The new M4 Mac Mini is amazing, but is the iPhone 16e as amazing? I don't think so. Again, I'm waiting to see what happens with the iPhone 17. I'm not sure why the iPhone 16e is so expensive. It has a new Apple-designed modem, the C1. It's just speculation, but I've been wondering if Apple simply doesn't want to sell the iPhone 16e in large numbers. Maybe they're just testing things out first. Another thing I was wondering, does Apple not like affordable iPhones anymore? I'm less likely to buy a Pro iPhone if a budget iPhone is just as good. So let's discuss. What do you think about the new iPhone 16e? Do you think it's worth the money? Are you planning to get one? Are you planning to wait? Are you happy with Android instead? You can let everyone know in the comments.